Welcome to our latest video. Today it's all about Husqvarna's take on Supermoto, specifically the 701 Supermoto, one of the most exciting single-cylinder concepts you can ride on the road. We're taking a real-world look at what it's like day to day, where it shines, where it gets on your nerves, and who it actually makes sense for. This isn't just about specs on a sheet, it's about the feel. That razor-sharp Supermoto handling, the aggressive riding position, and the big question of whether you can genuinely live with it in a relaxed way. One detail that makes the 701 stand out is its fuel tank. Instead of sitting up front, it's a 13-liter tank integrated into the rear, an engineering trick that noticeably affects weight distribution and agility. Brought to you by Motorize.de, your go-to source for new and used spare parts. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 2. Bitte füge den deutschen Voice-Over-Text bzw. den kompletten Abschnitt hier ein, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch und natürlich ins Englische. History and Evolution, 150 words. Husqvarna didn't invent Supermoto DNA, but it understood early on how to translate it from the racetrack to the road. In the early 2000s, the brand made that leap with the 610 SM, a punchy single-cylinder engine, long travel suspension, 17-inch wheels, and a setup that made asphalt feel like a special stage. Soon after came the 570 SMR, a far more radical take, lighter, more uncompromising, closer to pure competition, complete with the classic Supermoto brake package and a big front disc. The real turning point arrived with the 701 Supermoto, a modern single of around 693cc, ride-by-wire, and increasingly sophisticated electronics. A defining feature of this generation is the stiff chromoly chassis paired with WP suspension, turning a niche weapon into a performance bike that truly delivers on real roads too. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 4. Bitte sende den deutschen Voice-Over-Text oder ein Screenshot Copy-Paste, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. Technical highlights, approximate 150 words. At the heart of the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto is a liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine from the LC4 family, displacing around 693 cc and running a single overhead cam. In Euro 5 trim, it delivers roughly 74 horsepower and a strong punch of torque, exactly the kind of drive you want when firing out of tight corners. Power goes through a 6-speed gearbox, and the rear wheel is driven the traditional way via chain. On the chassis side, Husqvarna fits fully adjustable WP suspension, including a 48mm front fork. And when it's time to slow down, it means business. Up front, you get a 320mm disc with a radially mounted Brembo caliper, plus cornering ABS with a dedicated Supermoto mode. One spec that jumps off the page, a ready-to-ride weight of about 147 kg, explaining a lot of its razor-sharp feel. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text. Bitte füge den deutschen Voice-Over-Text für Szene 6 hier ein oder lade ihn hoch. Sag mir auch kurz, gewünschter Ton, zum Beispiel informativ, emotional, humorvoll, seriös. 2. Zielregion, US, UK, International English. Ob es eher werblich klingen soll oder dokumentarisch. Dann liefere ich dir eine idiomatische, natürliche englische Fassung. Design and ergonomics, to 150 words. Visually, the 701 Supermoto is pure Husqvarna. Sharp-edged, minimalist, almost like a race bike with a lighting kit bolted on. Its slim layout gives you plenty of room to move and work the bike, and the ergonomics are built around exactly that. With a seat height of around 890 millimeters, you sit tall, the wide handlebar comes to meet you, and the pegs are set in a sporty position. It doesn't encourage lounging, it demands control. Shift your weight forward on the brakes, load the front tire, then drive hard out of the corner. One especially smart detail is the rear design. The 13-liter tank is integrated into the tail, keeping the area between your knees narrow and making the mass feel more centralized. Add 17-inch spoked wheels and WP suspension with a firm baseline setup. Everything is tuned for precision, not comfort. Gern, mir fehlt nur noch der eigentliche Text. Bitte sende den deutschen Voice-Over-Text für Szene 8 oder ein Foto-Screenshot davon, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. Handling and everyday practicality, 120-150 words. In city traffic, the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto feels surprisingly nimble, The wide bars, quick responses, and upright command make it fast and accurate when things get tight. The 693cc single reacts instantly to throttle input and, thanks to modern mapping, is more manageable at part throttle than you'd expect from a big thumper. On twisty roads, it's right at home. 17-inch wheels, firm WP suspension, late braking points. And up front, the 320mm disc with a radial Brembo caliper bites hard, yet remains easy to modulate. Still, everyday usability comes with caveats. The seat is narrow, range depends heavily on how enthusiastic your right wrist is, and luggage options are limited. One very real factor is the tall seat height. When maneuvering or crawling through stop-and-go traffic, it won't feel relaxed for everyone. Gern? Bitte sende mir den deutschen Voice-Over-Text für Szene 10, den Inhalt nach den. Dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische.